Well, by that clock on the wall, I'm ready to, let's open the meeting and do the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Buckle up tonight, buddy, you're gonna have to keep me straight. Okay, so the roll call, please.
Roll call, Richard Lockowitz.
Here.
Denny Sands.
Here.
Josh Snyder. Here. Mark Stanley.
Here.
Callan Welsh.
Here.
Steve Wilhelm.
Here.
All are present.
Okay, do we have any additions to the agenda? Everybody satisfied with the agenda? Okay, do we have a vote? Can we approve the agenda, please?
I'll motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Citizens addressing the board. Callan, you want to get that? Thank you. Okay. You're up, Jeff. You're the only one on the sheet.
Okay. Jeff Root, 206 West Navajo, and I'm here to just speak a little bit about 104 West Comanche and 210 West Comanche, which you folks will be revisiting here after a bit. In my personal opinion, I believe the ground floor in the commercial district should be used for commercial purposes and not for residential use. Many of the reasons that I feel that way are shared, if you read through the minutes, those that attended the zoning meeting, they shared parking concerns, and if you allow it for one, how do you police this without allowing it for others? So there's a couple of vacant buildings downtown, and if it goes to one owner, how do you keep it from the other owners wanting the same thing? So the next thing we could end up with is a downtown that has more residential than business, and when we're trying to grow a business, I don't see how that is favorable. So, in my opinion, downtown should be commercial only, not residential, and let's not open a can of worms that we can't control.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
May I speak as a member of the public?
I guess you
Because I
can.
can't do it later, so. I'm still asking for what I originally asked for. I think, for one, the hotel, I'm just asking, let me use it as a hotel. But the other property, 210 West Comanche, as it sits, it doesn't make money. I can't put investment into the building, I can't reinvest in the building if the building doesn't make money. So I'm asking for the variances that I asked for, and that includes the ability to rent rooms in that building, some of which are on the first story. And that will make the building actually generate revenue that I can use to reinvest. I understand what the other gentleman was saying, but we have a lot of vacant buildings now. I'm proposing a use where the building isn't vacant, and it's in the rear half of not even the half, like a rear quarter of the building that I'm proposing. So my goal is to be able to reinvest into the building to start a confectionery, which is going to take me at least a year to do, and probably only in the six figures, like hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can only do that if I know the building generates revenue. So I'm asking for the zoning variances I asked for. I think it's a great deal for Shabbona. And I said as much during the zoning meeting. If everybody came and asked for it too, I think that would be good. Like that's better than having vacant buildings. So that's all. And Shabbona needs the economic activity. And we just spent a whole meeting talking about how we don't have any money. We need the economic activity.
Thank you, Kellen. We'll go on to reports and action. The village president's report, and the only thing I've got tonight, just like to make sure everybody knows they're the Indian Creek basketball team made it to the Sweet 16 this year. And to me, that's pretty amazing for a small school like this. So I'd like to congratulate the ball team and Coach Kobe. So. B on the agenda is the DeKalb County jurisdictional agreement, and we have the county engineer Nathan Schwartz here, and he's gonna tell us why we should or why we shouldn't. And thank you, Nathan.
All right, thank you for inviting me and allowing me to speak. Jurisdictional transfers, I'll start off with just the basics. Jurisdictional transfers are when one entity transfers or gives away a section of their road, in this case it's roads, to another jurisdictional agency. So in this case, Shabbona Road, coming through the village, is under the jurisdiction of DeKalb County. And some time ago, there was another municipality that was interested in a jurisdictional transfer, and we were looking at doing some improvements within Shabbona, so we thought that would be a good time to discuss it. Well, the board had changed, and so here we are. So we're not starting over, but having a new discussion, so to speak. So we are wondering if the village would be interested in a jurisdictional transfer of Shabbona Road, preferably from the north edge of the village to the south edge of the village. So what that would mean is that the county would relinquish control, responsibilities, and everything to do with that section. Well, we'll get to the everything. There's some exceptions to that. With that section of road, and then it would go under the village's jurisdiction. Why would the county be interested in that? This is a question that has been asked a couple times to me. Why would the county be interested in giving up one of their sections of roads? Well, we are really a rural highway department. Our equipment is very large, very bulky, with the number of entrances so close together, side streets, with storm sewer. That's not really what we are set up for. And we have, I don't want to say issues, but it's a little bit more difficult for us to do the maintenance within the municipalities because we just aren't really set up for that. That by itself that's it, less roads to take care of. If this was a rural road, an extra half mile of road or a mile, not a big deal compared to all of our mileage, but it's just that the nature of the road is something that we just really aren't set up for. What would be beneficial to the village? Because the only way that I or you should be interested in making this transfer is if it benefits both of us. If it doesn't benefit both, why are we doing it? So, what would be the benefit to the village? Well, any future improvements to the road, we would certainly accelerate to prior to the handoff, so to speak, so that we would make the road as maintenance-free as possible for the longest period of time for you. Because nobody wants to, no one wants to buy a car that immediately needs some work. You want something that's brand new. You're not going to have to do any work on it for a while. So that goes without saying, and that's what we've done for other jurisdictional transfers to other agencies that were interested in receiving a section of our road, fix it up so it's going to be maintenance-free for the longest period of time. What would that maintenance include? What would those improvements include? Probably a resurfacing. The north side of town was resurfaced not too long ago, but could always use more. South side of town is not upgraded to be an all-weather road. That means it's posted in the springtime for spring postings. 80,000 pounds year-round, get to the school or anywhere else. There could be a variety of other improvements. For example, there's been discussions about the railroad crossing immediately north of the state highway. doing a pedestrian path, probably like sidewalk on the east side there, cleaning up around that crossing, making it more mowable. That specific location, I know the village is interested, or sorry, has been talking about, I assume they're still interested in the quiet zone. While we cannot participate in the quiet zone for the entire village, certainly the portion affecting Shabbona Road would be appropriate for us, because that would be, our road prior to the transfer, to contribute to the costs for the quiet zone. If there was other improvements such as, on-street parking that you wanted to add in certain areas, I have some notes in here. If you wanted to, for example, in the areas where we have the paved, where we don't have the paved shoulders yet, paving the shoulders for pedestrian use, obviously you're gonna want the walkers on the sidewalk, but if you wanted, the bicycles off of the sidewalk, but not in a live lane of traffic, the paved shoulders are a great place for them to be. Other benefits, the kind of the indirect benefits to the village would be, I don't want to say fiasco, but utilities. They can be difficult, and having your own control over the utilities could be, in my opinion, a good thing. To tell somebody that you need to take a different route, or, be on this side of the road. We as a county, we're always going to reach out to the villages when we have a utility permit request within the municipal limits. We're always gonna reach out to the municipality, make sure that they don't have any big qualms with the request. But for you to have your own control over that, your own control over signage, speed limits, crosswalks, any of that, rather than the county, having that control. Let's see, quiet zones, side streets. Another big item that is always a concern. Now hopefully, I'm pretty sure we're done with it, but snow. What happens during the winter time? Well, if we were to do the jurisdictional transfer, it would be inappropriate for us being the primary responsibility for plowing, because it wouldn't be our road. But I certainly don't have issues with, keeping the plow down, as I call it, as we're driving through town, because we still have to go from the north to the south side of town, or vice versa. So we certainly don't mind being supplemental to the village's activities, snow removal, snow plowing activities. It's one of the, other than the state highway, one of the higher traveled routes. Certainly wouldn't hurt to have another plow on that, pushing snow back. I didn't want to get into too many details talking about cost, like if you were to say, we're interested in the quiet zone, we're interested in these improvements, we're interested in a crosswalk, we would like to move forwards now, with the jurisdictional transfer, we can make agreement as to how the work would get done, and what sort of time frame. Usually, when you do a jurisdictional transfer, you try not to say, we're gonna switch the road over now, but do work later on. You want to have a pretty clean transition. And IDOT supports a clean transition also. But it's not to say it couldn't be done. It's not to say that we would be interested in some future improvements, but, whether I'm paying a contractor or I'm paying the village to do the work in the future, it's the same dollar amount to me. So if the village wanted to, I think you're working on a municipal engineer right now.
We have,
Okay, yeah. So if you wanted to, go with, your municipal engineer, get an estimate cost, because I've already done some estimates on different things anyway. And we agree on a price. If you wanted a payment instead of the actual services, like I said, it's the same cost to me, whether I'm hiring a contractor to do it or letting you select the contractor, yourself. So either way, the timing, timing is really, really flexible. This conversation, I'm looking at it as an opening conversation. You know, if you wanna make up your mind, we love it, or absolutely not, you know, that's fine, you know, but for me, this is just an opening conversation, and we're glad to have more conversations to do follow-up for any questions you might have.
I have a question.
Sure.
The south end for future expansion, would you be willing to, you talked about redoing the road. Would you be redoing the road so it didn't have to be posted for, okay?
Yes.
So in that same process of redoing that road, would you extend our existing sewer line where it stops at the high school to the south end of Shabbona Road? Shabbona and
At
Preserve.
Preserve.
So that way we have, it's already built in for future
For
expansion.
when the farm gets developed, yeah.
Or I own property down there and I'm on septic still.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying I wanna tie into city sewer right now, but if it was stubbed out and it was already in the road, then we wouldn't have to tear a good road up again for future expansion.
Yeah, if I recall, the storm sewer is kind of under the edge of the road, under the shoulder, it's not way out in the.
Close, it's not,
Yeah, it's pretty close anyway, yeah. Certainly not, you know, and that would be what I would call a, you know, a discussion point. We obviously don't wanna spend, you know, millions and millions and millions of dollars, because that would be favorable for us. We're certainly willing to spend something, so if the village were to say, we want this and these, you know, these 10 things that we want, but the top 3 are our true priorities, and, you know, maybe can realistically fund 4 of the items, you know, just decide what the priorities are. It doesn't matter to me if it's storm sewer, sidewalk, bike paths, road work. For me, it's strictly a dollar amount. But what I don't want to do would be to put in a bunch of storm sewer, you know, disrupt the road, have a bunch of patches, and have the road look bad, and it's gonna need work, you know, future maintenance at some point. So if we're going to disturb the road, it would be nice to put a fresh coat of blacktop over it.
Absolutely.
You know, usually you wrap up a gift before you give it away. So.
I get it. I just figured I'd throw that out there and see if it was something that could be willing to be worked in.
Yeah, now if you were to say, we would like storm sewer up and down the entire road and curb and gutter, I mean, that's talking big money for all of that. That, I would have to price it out. My gut feeling is, ooh, that would be pretty expensive. But to do those extensions, you know, my thought is, that's probably doable.
Where's sanitary stop, Frank, at the high school? No, it's further.
Roughly, it's a little north of there, but
A little
roughly.
north of there,
Yeah.
almost to their entrance of their, the big parking lot, right?
Maybe a little north of that yet.
Okay. Alright,
Yeah, I was just looking, I think this is just storm sewer, isn't it?
yeah.
Sanitary.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Wrong map.
But I think that, I wanted to clear that up, because you said sanitary. Nathan, you were talking storms.
Yeah, you were talking
Yeah.
storm.
Yeah.
There's no storm,
Well, we're at.
I don't believe there's any storm.
South of the high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows 8-inch running here, and that is, kind of
Because I mean, it's basically.
to the type north edge of the high school essentially, yeah.
I guess what you're getting
Either
at,
way, either way, it's water, storm, sanitary,
Sanitary is what I was looking at, because here's the deal.
because you're separate.
There's, what do we figure, roughly 8 houses? Mine is one of them, but 8 houses on Shabbona Road.
On the west side there?
And to extend that to Preserve Road, and I don't care if you cap it or what you have to do at the end. But why wouldn't you, if you're tearing a road up to make it so you don't post it, why wouldn't you extend it at that time?
And that's exactly right. Every time we're going to do a road, we always look at what's underground first. Like when we're gonna repave a road, hey, what sort of pipes, your drainage pipes, crossroad pipes that you need to be, we always try to do that a year or two in advance of, in case there's any settlement or whatever before repaving the road, because a patch is always gonna be a patch.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Are you doing any other, or proposing to do any other towns like Hinckley would have the same situation coming in from the north and the south that we have here?
For Hinckley, there has been discussions about the leg that is south of the state highway. So going by Village Hall down to the railroad tracks. We haven't got into a great level of detail on that, but that has been discussed before.
I mean, is that what you wanna do in the future, is get rid of all these situations? Or not get rid of them, but transfer them over?
I don't know if I would wanna say absolutely get rid of all of them, because like, let's say we have Peace Road running through the Calvin Sycamore, that road is gonna stay with the county, but a smaller, municipal functioning road, 2-lane driveways every 100 feet, something like that, those are the types of roads that I would be interested in having the discussions on. And I certainly don't want to force it on anybody, like I said, unless it's, we're gonna have winners on both sides, that's.
Has any other town done this yet?
Cortland has.
Cortland has?
I talked a little bit with Kingston. It's been a while. I haven't done too much up there with Kingston, before. Let me see. We're gonna be working on, Malta Road in a few years. And so I'm gonna talk with Village of Malta, about South Second Street there, north of the apple orchard.
And what do you see as the advantage for the county doing this? Why are you even bringing it up?
The sections in town are kind of a pain in the butt for us.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, we can drive through and plow, but I think, I can't say that every single snowstorm in every condition is this way, but our guys are, not trying to, throw snow and, plow, block people's drive, sometimes go a little bit slower instead of throwing the snow way back. And in towns, it's a little more difficult for us to do the maintenance on the roads. You have all the side streets, and those, every time you have what we call a conflict, is, like an intersection.
Yeah.
It's just a lot more work, and we're really set up for, I'm gonna say, like the out of town stuff.
Yeah,
They
thank
don't
you,
wanna
thank
bring
you.
middle
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's and I'm gonna say this is the third time, it's only a good idea if it is a benefit to both sides. I'm gonna always stick with that philosophy.
Thank you.
You just don't wanna take people's mailboxes out.
Well, granted, I know we're going slower in town anyway, but I mean, hey, mailboxes, speaking of mailboxes, if you were to say, hey, we'd like to do that, but we also don't want to hit mailboxes, so we would like you to relocate mailboxes 2 feet farther back, Just be creative, There's a lot of options out there, just, and even if you don't have a solution, but if you were to say, Nathan, this has been a concern, or that, talk to me and we'll do some brainstorming and see what is a good way to maybe address that.
Fair enough.
Anybody else got any questions for Nathan?
So are we restricted to just anything associated with Shabbona Road, or can it be something that's just off of?
It would have to be pretty close to Shabbona Road.
So we've got Nokomis, we've had it since, I don't know, forever, and it's a pedestrian crossing. So, but we don't have any gates or lights. Is that something you would consider?
The railroad crossing there, that would be difficult for me to justify because it's not our road. Like if you were to say, hey, we're going to fix up the sidewalk on Shabbona, and instead of going just 30 feet to the right of way, maybe 100 feet of sidewalk, still connected, that's something that might be a stretch, but I could still justify. But to hop over hop over from one crossing to the next crossing,
Right.
that's, I'll
It's
be
worth a
honest, it's a
try.
little stretch for me.
Nice try.
Wait, always ask. Yeah, the worst I can do is say no, you know, that's one of my philosophies in life, you can always ask.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, sure you can.
So, I don't know exactly how it works, but would there be a tax money transfer? Cause the county gets tax money to take care of those roads. So if we take over the care of those roads, do we get some of that tax money also?
So the state of Illinois distributes, like you're talking motor fuel tax, you pay at the pump and so much gas tax goes in and the federal gas tax. Okay, so that, I always say the 19 cents, but now it's more than double. The gas tax is distributed in four different agencies. The state of Illinois just gets a flat percentage of the gas tax. There's the motor fuel tax and the transportation renewal fund, and they have different formulas, but the state gets a percent of the money. The municipalities get a certain percent, and that municipality chunk is split up between the municipalities based on your official population. So like during COVID, the universities said, hey, the kids weren't here, and so our number in 2020 was super low. And City of DeKalb, with NIU thought, should we do wait 3 years when the students are back in their dorms? Should we wait 3 years and do a special census? And that way, our numbers will be higher and we'll get more funding. Well, NIU decided, I think the official response was, it's not worth it for us. But Champaign and Urbana, they decided to do a special census because flagship university down there in central Illinois, that was a big deal. They lost out on a lot of money. And so they did a special census and it showed, hey, population is up, like from census to census, population here, and then 2020 it dropped down. Is that a realistic, expectation? Well, that's what the numbers showed. So the special census brought it back up to where it was. Okay. I'm not sure if, Shabbona saw a huge change in 2020 compared to, the previous trends. But anyway, municipal MFT is based on population. The township roads, or the road district highways, so out there in the townships, their MFT is based on how many miles of road, not lanes of road, but their center line. So if you had a 4-lane highway, it's worth the same amount as a 2-lane highway. No one around here is a 4-lane highway. So theirs is based on how many miles of road. The county's MFT is based on a couple of things. That's federal money. The county's MFT is based on motor vehicle registrations. So when every year you pay $85 to the secretary, say $105, whatever it is, my wife does that, so I don't know the number. Whatever the number is, for your license plate sticker, that there's a certain percentage of that goes to this agency, this agency, this agency. So we as locals do not get a piece of that pie. IDOT takes all of the money that that goes to roads based on your license plate stickers, but the amount of those registrations, so like a semi is worth more than a passenger vehicle. The dollar amount of those registrations is how the state decides how much the counties get. So the municipalities are always going to get 25%. The counties are always going to get 25%. The townships are always going to get 25%. Those aren't the actual numbers. But but those pots, the 25%, it's going to vary every year depending on your population, or the townships, depending on if they lose a mile or gain a mile. And the counties, ours fluctuates the most as people move out or move in or buy a new car or get rid of old cars, retire them. So the actual miles of road, it doesn't make a difference for you or me. No, we don't get that. is a long answer, but I just wanted you to understand. I'm sorry. I could have just said no.
Very thorough.
But, you know.
No, we're over the answer, yeah.
Very
Listen, I
Yeah,
always,
I totally understood.
I feel like at the highway department, we make pretty good decisions based on what we, you know, and so if I explain it, people say, oh, okay, that makes sense, you know, so I'm just in that habit, I'm sorry.
Anybody else? Thank you, Nathan.
Okay, all right, I see there's an agenda item later on, would you like me to stick around for that? Or would you like to discuss it, you know, kind of among yourselves with your best friends and family here? You know, discuss it among yourselves, and then I can come back at a later meeting, but whatever
Did you
your
bring,
fancy is.
did you bring lunch? I mean, we could be a while getting there, so.
Oh, it doesn't matter, I have a little bottle of water here, and I'll just
Can
hang
we
out.
amend the agenda for?
Well, no, I think we'll just go on as the agenda's
Yeah,
printed.
oh yeah, that's no
We'll get
problem.
back with you.
I don't have to be in here till 7 o'clock tomorrow morning,
Okay.
so I'm good.
I think,
Okay.
I think you can go and we'll talk about it and then we'll get back to you.
Okay,
How's that?
that works for me too,
Okay,
all right.
thank you.
Again, thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you.
If you wake up in the middle of the night and you think of something, my thought is write it down or send yourself a little message on your phone, because in the morning you won't remember. So, certainly I love questions, because the more you know, I think the better conversation is gonna be, so.
Well, if you leave your phone number, we think about it and then we'll call you.
The office number.
Thank you, Nathan.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, if we go to see the Public Works report, I don't see Jerry or John here. Those guys have been busy. They've been making repairs on the well house and they've plowing snow and I couldn't ask for more, so. And apparently Jerry wound up with, thank you, Nathan, something to do tonight, so they're progressing.
Probably making up for Monday night, I think they got thrown a curveball.
I think they did, yeah, a little bit, so. We'll go on to D, committee reports, infrastructure, Mark.
Nothing new to report.
Okay. Finance committee, Cal.
Well, it's been a while since the last meeting, so
Yeah,
I'm not even sure.
can't even remember it.
Working on the budget, working on the appropriations, and we're working on what to do with the water rates. I suspect we'll have a meeting next month to finalize a lot of that stuff, or make it more final.
Okay. Development committee, Josh, you got anything?
I don't have anything
Okay, thank you. Public affairs, Denny?
The main thing we've been working on here lately is, we applied for a grant, and Frank, you probably know more about that than what I do, around $20,000 for a sign or signs, where we would get a grant money to pay for it rather than tax money, right?
Right.
Is that correct, about 20,000?
20,000, we've actually applied for 2 grants.
Okay,
And one was $20,000 and the other one, I'm not sure what
When
it
we
could be.
apply for it, it'll be 50,
Pardon me?
up to 50,000.
Up to 50,000, so.
yeah, and I think we're kind of focused in on getting one sign in what I would call Midtown, and then branch out to more signs out on 30 or Preserve Road or Indian Road or wherever we end up putting them at the entrance to the park. But the big thing initially is let's get the one downtown so we get our feet wet and know how to do it, what to do right or wrong on the next ones.
Right. Anything else?
No,
Nope, okay. I guess we can go on to E then, the sheriff's report. Any questions on the sheriff's report?
We're pretty much atypical, I believe.
I assume the domestic and the battery are probably together.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how that works exactly, but sounds probable.
Yeah, I guess.
Nobody got any questions? Okay.
Do we know what the railroad malfunction was?
I don't know what it is. I would guess it would be one of the days that the trains across all the crossings, or at least
Okay.
two of them.
It wasn't a gate issue, it was just.
Nothing,
blocked.
I'm not aware of what it was. That's it?
Yeah.
No other questions?
No.
Okay. Let's go on to the committee reports. Oh, we did that already. Are you awake? Okay, all right. I was checking. That's all I was doing. Let's go on to the village clerk approval of the regular board meeting minutes from February 19th and special board meeting minutes from February 11th.
Can we approve both of them at the same time?
Let's do them one at a time, just to say we did it that way.
Okay, I'll move on to the first one then.
Okay, roll call on that, please.
Roll call for the board meeting minutes of February 19th. Denny Sands.
Yes.
Josh Schneider. Richard Luckowitz.
Yes.
Mark Stanley.
Yes.
Kellen Welsh.
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, let's go on to the special meeting from February 11th.
Make a motion to approve it.
I second it.
Roll call?
Mark Stanley.
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm.
Yes.
Kellen Welsh.
Yes.
Josh Schneider.
Yes.
Denny Sands.
Yes.
Richard Luckowitz.
Yes.
Okay. And we're going to the clerk's report.
Just a reminder, if you haven't done your statement of economic interest, the emails were sent out to everyone on February 20th. If for any reason you didn't see the email, I resent links to everybody who hadn't completed yet today. They are due by May 1st. Do it sooner rather than later, please. I go in every week and check and see where we're at. Not too many people left to do it. Grant updates. We have the Rural Vitality Grant is where we're just, is due by 4/9. That is the Lions Park. If the climbing wall hasn't been installed yet, I will request a extension the week before. The Economic Development Grant, that report's due 4/30, so hopefully the shade structure can be installed prior to that date. Otherwise, I'll request another extension. We did apply for the DeKalb County Community Foundation Spring Community Needs Grant for digital sign for $20,000. I'm waiting, probably be a month before we hear back on that. And then in process is the T-Mobile Hometown Grant for digital sign. That one's up to $50,000 because the cost of digital sign is close to like $28,000. I'm submitting that application next week. That one required a minimum of 5 support letters, and out of 25 notices I sent out, I've gotten 13 back. So I'll finish that up next week. And then we did, if you didn't notice on the revenue report, receive a check for the Wind Stoller grant that we were told we got in 2023. We received $65,000 after I did the first quarter report in January. Got the check in February, and I'm just waiting on information to close that out. So paperwork left to do. It went into the general fund as the grant was for funds to be applied to the Apache Street project, Storman Street, that was completed in '24. Building Shabbona Together continues to fundraise for matching funds for Purdy's Park. They've been applying for some additional grants for matching funds. Shabbona Pathway has gotten confirmation that the ITEP grant has been extended. There is no end date currently on it. The state is currently working on the grant agreement. So hopefully by early summer we have that. Liquor and video gaming annual renewal notices were sent out this month, so the renewals will be on April's agenda for board approval. Everybody's licenses expire on April 30th for liquor and video gaming. That's all my little updates.
So on the Purdy Park deal, are we, as the village, overseeing the, concrete for that shade structure? Or is that on,
The village holds the funds for the grant, so the village is overseeing that. Gonna get the contractor to do Lions Park and that at the same time.
alright,
And then, anything over the remaining funds for that grant, the Building Shabbona together will cover.
Anybody else got any questions for the boss? Okay, we'll go on to G, zoning board of appeals, planning commission. Number 1 on there is resolution 2026-03-19R1. First floor hotel rooms.
I'd like to,
Mayor, Mr. President, one thing, these will have to be corrected to be ordinances pursuant to your code. If code requires any variations, are granted by ordinance. But they'll have to be corrected in that manner.
So instead of a resolution, it'll be an ordinance.
Yes.
And can we go on with it without the, being in the packet as a ordinance?
We can correct it for the next time and you'll get the formal, whatever your vote is. The record is drafted and I'll correct it.
Or do we want to table it until we get it fixed?
That, well, that's one thing, if you have them on the agenda for discussion, or for approval, so, it could be approval subject, but what you wanna do is, if you wanna table it, that's an entirely different conversation.
Okay, I heard some questions start before. Denny?
Yeah, I've, got several questions here. Could you give that over to Jay, or Jalen? And give that, I wish I had copies for everybody, but I didn't. I think we'll all feel better if we go through this list here, of concerns and get Jalen's answer on all of them. What? Oh, Callan, I'm sorry, yeah. I have a list of 17 items, but they're quick items. Like number 1, do the rooms have single or double beds?
You mean the size of the bed or how many beds?
A single person bed or a double person bed?
2-person bed,
2-person bed, okay.
generally.
Does each room have an individual thermostat?
No.
Okay, does each individual room have a sink with hot and cold water?
No.
Does each individual room have a clock with a wake-up alarm?
Clocks have kind of been replaced by smartphones these days, and so radios.
Yeah, radio is the next one. Usually every motel room that I've ever been in, they all had a radio and a clock. Within the room, is there extra sheets or blankets if somebody would need them in the middle of the night?
I do typically provide extra sheets and blankets, yeah.
Okay. Number 7, a mirror. Does each room have a mirror?
Not every room has its own mirror, but there's like a mirror in the shared bathroom.
Okay. Does each room only have one exit per room?
They all have windows.
They have some of them have windows, or all of them have windows?
They all have windows if you're talking about egress. So there would be 2.
If they had to get out through a window, they could.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I got that one typed on there twice. Does each room have a refrigerator?
Most
Most motel rooms have refrigerators.
of them, yeah.
Would you consider that, or? 'Cause the next one's a stove, that kind of falls on the same floor. Refrigerator and stove, if they're gonna be living in that room, they should have means to live in that room.
I have a shared stove.
A telephone,
Again, smartphones have kind of replaced that.
extra linens and blankets.
Yes.
How about janitorial services? You gonna clean the room once a day or once a week or?
Not once a day. The way I do it is you can request additional I have housekeeping staff.
Okay, does each individual room have a fire alarm or a smoke alarm?
Yes, and they're all interconnected, and carbon monoxide.
Well, thank you very much, that's good. Are there tables and chairs in a room or just a bed?
No, every room has at least an end table. Some of them have desks in them too.
Okay, how about a shower or a bathtub? Each room. Where would they take a shower, where would they take a bath?
It depends. If you're talking about the hotel, I've got a couple of rooms that have private showers, and then most of them are shared.
Okay, sounds like we got a lot of things to work on or decide on. But that's my list. If anybody else got any more items that you think the room should have or shouldn't have?
So I brought up my concern in your initial, meeting with the variance committee. And I asked you a question on, so we're on the hotel right now, right?
Yes, we're on the hotel.
Okay. So I asked you how many restroom or even full bathrooms. I guess I better rephrase though, because I went back and watched it. I'll rephrase how I asked. I said bathrooms. And what I meant by that is you said there was 3 full bathrooms in that hotel, correct?
Right.
Okay. How many are, I guess, how do I want to phrase this? How many are accessible to everybody in the hotel and the barber shop?
There's one bathroom that's shared with most of the rooms.
Okay, because everybody I talked to said that they use the one bathroom that's upstairs. Is that correct?
Yeah. The other ones,
Where are the other 2 located?
they're for private use.
Okay. So and I guess that's the way I phrased it when I asked you in that meeting, because that's when we were addressing you, is how many there was, not how many are accessible to everybody. So how many rooms and businesses use that one bathroom? How many rooms are
Up to 8
upstairs?
rooms.
Huh?
There's 10.
10?
Up to 8. It depends on occupancy, but up to 8. Yeah.
Okay, and were you gonna add any? Because I guess
There's already a there's a bathroom that's currently not accessible to the hotel downstairs that ultimately I want to use for hotel use, but I'm not adding any upstairs. No.
Because what I'm looking at so how many rooms you said was up there, 10?
Yeah.
So if all 10 rooms were rented at one time, and I don't know how often that happens for you, I guess it's none of my business. My point is that one facility just on the upstairs is for everybody on the top floor. And if a business was open downstairs, that would make it 11, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you be willing to add bathrooms?
Yeah.
I guess.
two of the hotel rooms already have private bathrooms. And then the shared ones, that's why I said up to 8. So.
In my personal opinion, I would say that would be more of a building code issue, not really a zoning issue.
Oh, actually it is, because in order for my vote to approve something like this, Kellen would have to be, I guess you'd want somebody to come look at it as far as a structural standpoint, because I don't know what the upstairs looks like, and see where you could actually add a bathroom, a full bath, at a bare minimum, you think you would want separate bathrooms for the businesses downstairs, for the commercial use. But they gave you a variance before, and that's where your apartment's at, correct? So that will be one of the full bathrooms.
If you're including that one, then there's 4.
So there's only one bathroom on the second story, but there's 3 bathrooms.
No, there's
on the
3
first.
bathrooms on the second story, there's 1 bathroom on the first story.
But you said there's 8 rooms using the one shared bathroom.
Right. Again, depending on occupancy.
But the potential.
Yeah. I haven't had any issues with it. If you look at any of my negative reviews, the vast majority of them say train noise. No one mentions the bathroom. I have a housekeeper that keeps it up, so
And they clean that every day.
most days, yeah.
Anybody else got any questions on the resolution for first floor hotel rooms?
I'd like to motion that we approve that.
Do we have a second for that motion? No second for the motion? I guess then the next thing would be, would somebody like to make a motion to deny the first floor hotel rooms?
No, what happens is it dies for a lack of a second.
Okay, thank you.
This
So-
must be announced first.
So this dies for lack of a second.
Can I make a motion to approve it with the condition that he adds a second bathroom?
Yeah, with any of the variations, there's always conditions that can be placed upon them. Being in compliance with code is always a requirement regardless of what the variations is. You can make, trustee, you can make whatever motion and put any stipulation. I think when I looked at this in the, and they'll have to be redrafted as ordinances, not resolutions, but the substance will remain the same. Just let me look at because I think the findings of fact contain there was a stipulation or requirement in there.
International building and fire codes must be met.
Yeah, which is the default, I think, right?
That's a default, but that's also a condition, what the point is that there's conditions that can be attached to any motion or any approval. So whatever you make your motion be, can be conditioned upon whatever you put in there.
The way I see it is we have a vast amount of empty downtown space. This is a commercial use, it's not residential, it's a commercial hotel. I would like to motion that we approve it with the condition that he has a second public bathroom.
We have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I got a question. Does it not have to go back to the variance, the zoning board, if you're making any changes?
No, they're making recommendations to they're an advisory board, so they made recommendations to you to approve with certain conditions. You're entitled with the variations.
So they don't have to go back to the zoning board with
They will not, no.
with a different setup?
You're granting the variation, it can't be a deviation from code, so whatever the code requires is what, in order for him to get the variation, he's gonna have to follow all, those two codes, the building code and the fire code. As well as accessibility codes and everything else. So all applicable laws would apply to any variation.
Okay, Again, do I have a second for Josh's motion to,
With the conditions.
with the conditions?
So just to be clear, so that's how many bathrooms for how many rooms? If you go with the condition?
I believe
Facilities.
He's saying, yeah, go ahead.
my understanding would be that would be 2 bathrooms shared between 9 currently. And then if he were to expand the entire downstairs, that would be 3 bathrooms with
That's how many total ones.
13.
Do I have a second for that motion?
Y'all screw me in this, I'm not investing in Shabbona anymore. I mean, come on. I put like my entire life savings into this shit.
Okay, that one will die for lack of a second. Resolution 2026-03-19 R1 B basement hotel rooms.
This one, the zoning board recommended approving. I would like to motion that we approve this one.
Do I have a second for that? No second? Guess that one will die for lack of a second. Let's go on to 210 Comanche zoning variances. Resolution 2026-03-19 R2, first floor hotel rooms.
I'd like to motion that we accept this resolution.
May I have a second, please? No second to Josh's motion. I guess that one will die for lack of a second. Resolution 2026-03-19 R2B, second floor hotel rooms.
Again, this one was recommended by the zoning board to be approved, and I'd like to motion to approve this one.
I have a motion on the floor for second floor hotel rooms. Do I have a second, please?
And, Village President, just to be clear, if you're not gonna vote on them, you have the recommendation. The appropriate way to handle it is, unless you're putting it on the agenda next time with an ordinance, is you have to address the recommendation with an affirmative vote. The motion dies, but technically you should have a vote on the items if you're gonna disagree with the recommendations of the zoning board. I understand there was mixed findings with the board. And if you're going to, the other part of it is if you're going to vote it down, you have to make your specific factual findings why you're voting it down. There's going to be abundantly clear kind of on the process when you're dealing with zoning board.
All right, so we're on B, or you want us to start over?
Well, setting aside the ordinance versus resolution issue, what I'm suggesting is if trustee Snyder made the motion, you're gonna have to, and then you'll have to stay on the record, it'll have to go, it should go to a vote. So there's clarity and there's finality, and there has to be, during discussion, findings of why you disagree or agree with the zoning board. So the zoning board, in their findings, which are in your packet, you should be addressing those in your discussion and making your own findings and why you disagree or agree. Some of these are a mixed bag, right? For example, the basement was recommended. So you'll have to say why you don't believe it should be approved. Does that make sense?
All right, so we starting over again, 1A?
I would urge, yes, either,
The list I made was not good enough reasons.
No, because
yeah,
you
well,
didn't
first of all,
say,
no, there was no motion on the floor at the time, so there wasn't a proper discussion, so what you would have to state on the record is to be clear with it, and if, you know, unless there's a motion to table to get more information, and the ordinance is on for the next agenda, the fact of the matter is, either you follow the recommendations and their findings of facts from the zoning board, or if you disagree with those findings of fact, you're going to have to state on the record why you disagree with the findings of fact.
We do them all together, or do we have to do them
You're gonna
individually?
The way this agenda's set up, you're gonna have to do them one at a time.
Well,
I mean, you have the two buildings, but there's different variations and there's different aspects of each. But you have to at least give the applicant, you know, that consideration.
So someone has to second the motion,
You should, and then either
And
vote it
then-
up or vote it down, but you have
vote off
to,
of that.
but if you're going to vote it down with any variation or zoning board recommendation, you have to state on the record the reasons why you're not voting for it, and collectively.
all right,
make a statement.
so
What
here we
if, what
go.
if we don't?
I know it's a long meeting agenda, I wanna be appropriate and thorough, and
But it's not even on the agenda correctly, is my concern. I mean, if we, I'd rather have it fixed and give them more time to,
then someone would have to make a motion to table C, or is that G, I'm sorry, my eyes are failing. And
I'd rather give them time to, you know, fix whatever they need to fix than to give it
yeah,
over.
well, I'll do the
That's
ordinance
my-
with the clerk, but if
That's my idea.
as opposed to not voting on or taking action.
Well,
Like I
that
said,
Rich,
if we're gonna be forced to do it either way, but I'm saying it's not even correct on the agenda, so it'd be better for us to just table G, have them address whatever concerns, and then come back.
Okay, well,
Give them a chance, is what I'm saying.
I don't know,
As
policy, I'm
opposed to
just
getting it
advising on
over.
the law.
I know, but like I said, if it was correct on here, that'd be one thing, it's not even corrected. So, I'd say we take, I vote to table G, and,
I second it, there you go, it's done.
Well, it's not done. You
is
have to
that-
have a vote.
Is that
Table.
proper? Hold on a minute.
Hold it.
You can motion to post, it'd be a motion to postpone to the next, village board meeting. And that's, you don't have to put any conditions on it, it'd just be a motion to postpone these items. And then you can give the correct
I don't
ordinance.
understand what.
I'm fine with it. So, you want it to the next meeting, or do you want it more time?
And just as a matter of course, trustee, all I'm saying is the proper procedure would be to have the ordinance, and if they're going to vote for it, they adopt the findings. If they're going to vote against it, they have to state on the record the specific reasons with their findings and why they vote against it. But,
Yeah, I vote to table G,
well, you made a motion, there was a second.
yeah, so we gotta have a vote, or
There's a motion
I second
to table this,
To postpone,
it.
to postpone
is to postpone to the next agenda.
next meeting. Have you got that down right?
Mhm.
Okay. And you seconded the motion?
Mhm.
Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Roll call to postpone G zoning variances until the April board meeting. Richard Blackowitz,
yes.
Denny Sands,
yes,
Josh Schneider,
No.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes.
and Callan Welsh is an abstain. Motion carried.
I guess we'll go on from that. So this will be back on the agenda for next month. Let's go to 6, the financial approval of bills for, and payroll for March. too many papers here. Everybody had a chance to look at the bills, the March bills? I'd like a motion to approve the payroll and the March bills.
Make a motion to approve it.
For the second, please.
That's second.
Motion and second, roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes.
Jenny Sands,
Yes.
Richard Luckowitz,
Yes.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Callan Welsh,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay. Treasurer's report as of February 28th, 2026. Fund summary and revenue reports.
So we're looking at page 50 of 108 in your packet. Is the fund summary. And in the right direction. That $68,000 grant check coming through definitely helped. And then the revenue report is on page 51. Any questions?
And I did highlight on mine the wind solar grant for $65,000 for revenues. Just so you know that's not gonna happen next month. Motion to approve the fund summary and revenue report.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second, please.
That's second.
Can we have a roll call vote?
Roll call vote to accept the treasurer's report, Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes.
Jenny Sands,
Yes.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Richard Luckowitz,
Yes.
Callan Welsh.
Yes.
The operating statement as of February 28th, 2026.
Again, this is just an FYI of where we're at. And how much of the budget has been spent with 2 months remaining in the fiscal year.
And again, I would caution everybody that the budget was an appropriation number, so. Motion to approve.
That, it's just an FYI.
Yeah, but we're gonna approve it anyway.
Okay.
It's an acceptance.
Motion to accept and place on file.
Motion to accept and place on file.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Roll call vote.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Richard Luckowitz,
Yes.
Callan Welsh,
Yes.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Jenny Sands,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm.
Yes.
And D is utility billing, discussion of utility rates. What do we have for discussion on that?
Do you have anything for the meeting tonight? Not yet. Still at finance committee.
I think it was discussed pretty much in the finance committee meeting.
On the billing piece, Public Works will read meters starting on March 30th. The goal is to have bills ready to mail for April 1st and 2nd. And this will be the first cycle of email bills as well. And then I do have about 85 accounts that do not have a working phone number, and I'm gonna send a notice out to them next week to try to get working phone numbers.
Any questions on the utility billing? Okay, let's go on to number 7, ordinances and resolutions, proclamation, ordinances. Ordinance 2026-03-19A, Chapter 2, Administration, amending the Section 2-19, Meetings.
I realized when I was drafting the fiscal year meeting dates that we never updated the ordinance from the fourth Monday to the third Thursday at 6 p.m. So that's what this is.
I'd like to motion that we approve ordinance number 2026-03-19A.
There's a second to that motion, please.
I second it.
Roll call vote.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Denny Sands,
Yes.
Richard Lefkowitz,
Yes.
and Kellen Welsh.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go on to number 2 there, 2026-03-19B. Chapter 12, establishing boring permit requirements. I think everybody here understands the problem we've had with boring permits. And we look to update our ordinance to require some more things. We had Dominic look at the ordinance and this is what he thought was pertinent for
That's
what we're
for the
doing.
bond,
It includes the bond,
okay.
1.5.
We asked for 1.5%, or
1.5
1.5% times the estimated amount of the construction. The past construction was estimated at $400,000 by Metro. So we'd be looking at a bond of $600,000 to go ahead with the boring. And I'd much rather have that bond than have to deal with an insurance adjuster. And that's
So
why,
then, if something happens, we just pull from the bond instead of having to wait for a insurance company?
Make a claim against the bond.
Okay.
and there's some other things in there, but it's, the ordinance is in the packet, so I'd really like to get that approved so we can, we're gonna have to go on with Metro Communications here. But we've revoked the permit that they have now.
And we got another one coming right behind them, right?
We do, and that's another reason to get this in place,
Who's the, one coming behind?
is Frontier, which is now Verizon, but it's Frontier now. Verizon's bought them up, so.
I make a motion to approve it. They- Knowing what you're dealing with now, trying to get things approved for the road for their insurance company.
Well, you've all seen what's happened to us and where we're at.
Road's still shut down.
Second that motion.
Could I have a roll call on that, please?
Roll call, Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Kellen Welsh,
Yes.
Richard Lefkowitz,
Yes.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Denny Sands,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Resolution,
No, there's B, schedule of fees and rates for boring permits and applications. I don't have a resolution for it.
That's all it's not on yours.
it's not on there.
You got another one, that's why. Let's see.
Okay, B, schedule of rates and fees for boring permits and applications.
Page 66. It would establish a $200 utility permit application fee, a directional boring application fee of $200, and a non-compliance for directional boring of $250 per day, if they don't get a permit.
If they're not permitted?
Correct.
For
It
directional
sets the
boring.
fee for the permit and then a
Fine.
fine if they are not in compliance.
Fair enough. Need a motion?
Yes, please.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second,
I'll second.
roll call.
Roll call vote, Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Richard Lefkowitz,
Yes.
Kellen Welsh,
Yes.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes.
Jenny Sands.
Yes.
Okay. Now can I go to B?
See.
Huh, see? That's why he makes the big money. I told you, you'd be very well, you'd be used tonight, so. See, resolutions. 2026-03-19R3. Approval to go out for bid for Cherokee Street repairs.
I make a motion to,
I'd second that.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Roll call vote. Richard Lekowitz,
yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes.
Denny Sands,
Yes.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Callan Welsh,
Yes.
Josh Schneider.
Yes.
Thank you. Number 2 here, right?
Yes, sir.
Resolution 2026-03-19R4. Agreement with Test Incorporated for certified water and wastewater operator. For my 2 cents, this is probably, do that for a minute. This is probably the best bang for our buck we're getting is Test Incorporated. They have been great. And personally, I would like to extend their contract again.
Motion to approve.
I second it.
Roll call vote, please. Well, I did take a little shot at you, but I'm sorry. Could be true. May not
Motion
be
to
true.
approve resolution 2026-03-19R4. Callan Welsh,
Yes.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Richard Lekowitz,
Yes.
Denny Sands,
Yes.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm.
Yes.
And we have to do this annually because of the water, the IEPA requires it.
Okay, let's go on to resolution 2026-3-19R5. Agreement with DeKalb County for road salt. The road salt is, we have enough road salt, we don't have to buy any right now. But we have to have an intergovernmental agreement with the county to buy it if we need to. The township stores our road salt for us. And right now he's got 1 truckload of salt that he's got ordered that's coming. He's out of room, so we don't need to purchase any road salt for the coming season as it stands right now. But we do need the intergovernmental agreement if we have to buy some during the next winter.
So we're just purchasing it from them.
We purchase it through the county, correct?
Okay. I make a motion to approve that.
I second it.
Let's have a roll call vote on that.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes.
Richard Lekowitz,
Yes.
Denny Sands,
Yes.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Callan Welsh.
Yes.
You didn't miss anybody, did you? No. Motion carried.
Okay, let's go on to resolution 2026-3-19R6, board meeting dates.
I would like to motion that we accept this resolution.
Second.
Roll call?
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Callan Welsh,
Yes.
Richard Lekowitz,
Yes.
Denny Sands,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes.
Mark Stanley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go on to resolution 2026-03-19R8, adopted planter program.
Page 103's got the breakdown of what we've spent so far and what's projected to be spent on plants. For the planters, the parks, and the welcome signs.
Do we have them all adopted, Joe?
We have 3 downtown planters still available and 4 in Purdy Park.
Is the correct dirt in the downtown one, so we,
The dirt
Get that
issue was in the
resolved?
bump outs. Wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was in all of them, but
So Public Works is gonna have to revisit the dirt thing when they,
Do you gotta
Prep for
contact the state
irrigation.
to find out what kind of dirt you need? Cause that was the problem, wasn't
there's an email and it's in the plans.
Any dirt?
it? You're right. The dirt was not approved. I don't know what was wrong with the dirt,
Dirt's
but the
dirt.
dirt was not approved, right?
Correct.
Correct.
We got a
The wrong dirt.
$3,500 credit for dirt.
Yeah. There was the wrong dirt put in the planters. I couldn't believe it.
I've got the information about that in my email. I did not include anything about dirt.
Did anybody ever specify what dirt we need to put in it?
There's a line in the plans that should, for what kind of dirt it is. I think it's in the email too.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. You grew flowers last year. We got a $3,500 credit for bad dirt.
And some plant issues. But yeah.
I don't know, the two
When I read
ladies
that
here
last year, I
are,
laughed.
Spend the 35.
So the dirt is not part of the
I
adopted
know my
planter
wife will get the
plan.
dirt that she needs to put in the planter that she's gonna take care of. I know
Okay.
That won't be a problem.
But it wasn't approved.
Yeah, but-
Whatever dirt
I
was in the
suppose I gotta
planters
send
was
a
not
sample
approved.
in or something, I guess.
I don't know. Nobody can explain it to me because I questioned it last year also.
Got it from Lee's old well.
I don't know.
So we're
Good damn
asking
it,
for a
dirt.
budget of $3,500 for the adopt a planter program. It does not include dirt.
Okay.
There's the ag program at the grade school, they're gonna do 7 of the planters by Lions Park and, Joe Perkins Memorial Park, so, you know, kids getting involved and in the community, and I'm just really excited about where it's going. Lots of volunteers, actually, there's several of the people in the audience today who have adopted a planter.
Good deal. Thank you.
It's
Thank
very-
you,
yeah,
thank you
it's
for
cool.
doing it.
Cool.
help me out here.
Give
Can
the
we-
kids the right dirt.
Can we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
That's second.
Well, let's have a roll call vote on that one too.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes.
Jenny Sands,
Yes.
Josh Schneider, Richard Lekowitz,
Yes.
Kellen Welsh.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Then the Arbor Day proclamation. We've done it for, may not be a reason to do it, but we've done it for quite a few years. It doesn't cost us anything, it doesn't bring us anything, other than we're a tree city. We don't have to plant any trees, we don't have to do anything, it's just a proclamation that we support the Arbor Day Foundation. So, could I have a motion to approve?
Do I
I
need a
motion to approve.
a
Do
proclamation?
I need a motion? Never mind, the boss says no.
Do we want to sponsor a tree for Purdy Park?
Well, I don't know if we do, that's up to you, I guess.
It's something we need to discuss. Maybe Purdy Park needs a tree.
Pretty Park needs some trees.
Yeah. So maybe the village board could sponsor a tree for Purdy Park. I don't know. When we dig the hole to put the tree in, we might find out.
No, this is just a proclamation.
Okay,
So you'll have to buy a tree next month.
okay.
And the Public Works guys may be here that would have to mow around it next month and tell you different.
So we wanna give them the heads up that maybe they'd have to mow around a tree
I think so.
that we're thinking about sponsoring to put in Purdy Park?
I think all of the above.
And the board meeting is before Arbor Day, the April board meeting is before Arbor Day, so you've
Okay,
got
so
time.
put that on the agenda for, we'd have to pick a tree out and sample the dirt.
Historically, the village has partnered with the library, and the library does activities for Arbor Day, so I was gonna reach out to the library.
Okay, they dig the hole?
Usually they don't plant
I'm
a
not
tree,
getting
they
all the
usually, I'm gonna work on the normal getting one donated to them, and then they usually do an activity at kids' story time and stuff, so.
But
I'm
the-
gonna reach out and see.
But that ag group of kids, they might be interested.
They might dig the hole.
They might dig the
There you
hole.
go.
I did
They
talk
might
to the
test the
teacher
soil.
about that if not this year, next April, that if the elementary school after-school ag program wanted to partner with the village we did it in the past, and we stopped doing it at COVID. We'd plant a tree over at Indian Creek schools every year, and the elementary school kids would come out and watch. It's kind of a cool little thing.
Have we looked at anything like putting benches or trees in Purdy Park in somebody's name?
Not at this time.
Okay.
We have quite a few benches over there right now, but not with all the names on them, just the Purdy's bench.
We do have an OSLAD grant that's pending on that, so I don't know how much we wanna do before we either accept the grant or get the grant or be able to pay for it, so.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we made an Arbor Day proclamation, we don't have to vote on it, right?
No, you should typically read it, but that's fine.
You wanna read it? Okay. Anybody wanna read the proclamation? It's in your board packet.
I think we're good.
We're good, okay. Let's go on to, we don't have any old business, let's go on to new business. Do we want to discuss the jurisdictional agreement with DeKalb County? My thought would be to, and you'll like this, move that off to the infrastructure committee to discuss it. And come up with what we need to ask the county for to get into the,
I mean, are we interested in doing that, or are we?
that's what we're gonna find out through the,
It's not gonna hurt to talk to them at this point.
Right.
If they're willing to, if, the way I see it, when it was brought up before, and I listened to the old, some of the stuff with the old board, it's worth talking to them about, I think. One, if they're willing to put the sewer extension all the way down to, Preserve, and it's capped there, you could tie into that, you know, we do Preserve Road.
we do.
Preserve Road's ours, so there's no reason why you couldn't hook up to it from Preserve and go either direction. I'm just looking for, everybody always says future expansion, so why wouldn't you put that in? If they're tearing that road up anyway, why wouldn't you install it? It's not that I'm
So what's
for it,
the
I'm on
negative
septic.
for us? If we get that, we have to take over maintenance,
Yeah,
so.
but they're gonna
no longer gonna
restructure the whole road.
Yeah.
So the weight classification's going up, so
Do
you
we
would
want the weight classification going up?
Absolutely.
Why?
It doesn't have to be posted, so it's a more stable road.
It's a four-season road at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but does that mean semis are gonna be driving down that road now?
They do now.
They already do.
Well, now they need, would they more so do it than they are now?
No,
I mean,
they just go a different route when it's posted.
Yeah.
Would the people that live there, like you, be in favor of an extension? The septic.
As long as I'm not forced to hook up to it, Denny, yeah, I'm for it.
Well, I don't know, isn't that a rule that if it's there?
I mean, would it be,
It doesn't have to be, I've asked.
if the county's gonna pay for it,
Let's ask for.
you may get it done
Why
for
are you
relatively cheap.
The hookups.
for
And
free.
it's an option,
Yeah.
I think there's 8 of
There's a
us
sewer line that goes by.
There's 8 of us from the
Is he gonna
corner
force
north
you to tap into it?
that are on septic still.
Should we talk to those people, or should you talk to those
Didn't we
people?
talk about that today?
Well, I think when we get further on with talks with
Again,
the
I'm not
county
sure,
and
Right.
maybe get
I've
things
heard
more
that you have
firm
to, but
in,
he's gonna tell us. if
Because
you
to me, that'd be ideal for you guys
Cause I
to
mean, it would
do,
be good for him to know that.
Absolutely.
save you the buck.
He might be shooting himself in the foot.
I don't know if it's any savings.
No, because if he
Anyway,
hooks up to it, then he's gonna be paying the sewer costs.
Yeah,
Do we need to
Yeah,
vote
it's
to send it to
sewer
the
cost.
right now I only
Or
pay
do
water.
we need to vote to
But
send
right
it to
now,
committee?
But
right
your house
now,
value might go up
Roll
too.
call or all in favor?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
you'd have to do the numbers.
Yeah, we'd have to run the numbers and see, but
Roll call.
but I'd rather have
So we need a motion.
too.
the pipe extended.
So if
To
he
do what?
decides to,
Yeah, there you go.
he's not paying
Move
to
it
have
to-
finance.
Good idea.
Refer to the
That's the
infrastructure
minimum way
committee.
of looking at
Yeah, I
it.
motion to move it to the infrastructure committee.
You can. Can I have a second?
What was that?
Are you looking at me
We were
to
talking
second
over
it?
here.
No, I'm just looking,
I second it.
okay. We got a motion and a second to move the jurisdictional agreement with DeKalb County to the infrastructure committee, and they'll report back to us by next month? Next meeting?
Well, yeah, we're gonna have, no, it'll have to be, yeah, maybe, possibly. Because I'd have to,
I
I
could've said
gotta,
that.
I gotta have a meeting, we gotta decide what we're looking at to discuss with them on what we would like to see. Like he said, you get 10 things, and he may, and we say, all right, the top 3, but he may be able to fund the top 4 or 5 by doing, by us taking the vote. So I think it's something that we need to discuss as the infrastructure committee, and then maybe send an email out to everybody else if they agree, or if there's anything else, or if you want to attend the meeting.
Yeah, no emails between,
Okay, no emails,
that would be an open meetings act violation.
yeah. No emails,
You got that before,
yeah.
Before what?
before our resident expert back there got us on it.
You would agree with me on that.
Yeah, he does, he's smiling.
But we need to discuss what we would like for add-ons if we were gonna take the road over. And what we would like, other than just them making it a 4-season road.
And I said by next month, it probably doesn't have to be, but we could start, you could
Yes,
start the discussion in your committee next month,
Yes.
hopefully.
absolutely.
Okay, I need a motion for that?
You have the motion and second, here's the second.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Roll call.
vote.
Richard
I told
Lockowitz,
you you'd
Yes.
run
Denny
this.
Sands,
Yes.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Mark Stanley,
Absolutely.
Callan Welsh,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm.
Yes.
Oh, you're
Motion
getting
carried to
close.
move it to infrastructure committee.
Okay. Discussion and approval of assigning members to the committees. I spoke with Callan about putting another member on the finance committee. And I also spoke to Mr. Stanley about going on the finance committee. It was okay with Callan, it was okay with Mark, that I'd like to put Mark on the finance committee. And then secondly, speaking with Mark, I'd like to put Steve Wilhelm on the infrastructure committee. So that gets us back to 2 board members and a person from the village on the infrastructure committee. Do I need to vote on that?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're making the appointment, they're approving your appointment.
Separately, we need to vote on.
You can put them together.
May I have a motion, please?
I second.
Roll call vote?
Roll call vote to add Mark Stanley to finance committee and Steve Wilhelm to infrastructure committee. Callan Welsh,
Yes.
Richard Lockowitz,
Yes.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Denny Sands,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes.
Mark Stanley.
Yeah.
Motion carried.
Good, okay. Now, I need to go into executive session?
Yes, sir.
We're gonna go into executive session to approve releasing executive session minutes. So I need a motion.
For
going into
review of executive session minutes in review of appointment, employment, compensation, discipline,
No, we
performance.
took that out.
No, we
Did we take
left it
that
in there.
Oh, all right.
We got 2 things yet.
Do you need a motion?
So it's a motion to adjourn into executive session for the purposes of review of the executive session minutes as provided for in 5 ILCS 120/2C as in Charlie 6. And also for the discussion of personnel, including the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, and or dismissal of specific employees pursuant to 5 ILCS 120/2.
I make the motion.
I second it.
Roll call vote, please.
Richard Lekowitz,
Yes.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Steve Wilhelm,
Yes,
Denny Sands,
Yes,
Callan Welsh,
No.
Josh Snyder.
You're now in executive session.
Pardon me?
You're now in executive session.
We're in executive session.